Headquarters of common sense.
Talk Radio.
Right now, let's talk to Kevin, find out what's going on. Kevin, very good morning to you.
Hello, mate.
How's it going?
Very well.
Excellent. I heard very good bits of your show last night talking about the bombs that Russia could be setting off. They seem at the moment to be kind of uncharacteristically lenient on Ukraine, and I guess, like many people, you're worried that it could get a lot worse.
Well, to an extent, they are said to have let off a thermobaric vacuum bomb on Kiev last night and to have cluster bombed Kharkiv in the east. So both those two cities are being subjected to serious bombardment, and Putin is accused of war crimes already by targeting civil areas, civilians. And if he has indeed let off one of these thermobaric bombs on a civilian target, I mean, that is just appalling. And the cluster bombing of Kharkiv is constant. So yes, I think there's worse yet to come, but he's already upped the ante. He's reacting exactly how we feared because of the Ukrainian resistance, because his invasion has not been very successful so far. All he can do is to increase the weaponry and to increase the bombardment. I think we have to steel ourselves for much worse to come.
Yeah, I think that's inevitably true, unfortunately. But it's interesting really trying to work out what is going to happen next, because even the best experts that we speak to here at Talk Radio can't seem to predict how long this is going to go on for, precisely what would end it, and whether there could be any kind of settlement that everybody would agree to.
Well, the settlement will obviously, in terms of Ukraine, have to involve Russia completely retreating from the country and stopping claiming to occupy that country. And the Russians will only accept complete subjugation on the part of the Ukrainians. So I don't think we should put any hope whatsoever in those talks. What I think we do have to steel ourselves for is the possibility of increasing involvement. I know everyone's frightened about the idea of World War III, but to an extent, the alternative is just bowing to the bully.
Yeah.
Tobias Ellwood, the chairman of the Defence Committee, was on Julia's show this morning, and he said, you know, we have to think about the possibility, almost the inevitability of our increased involvement, and that will probably include air support and maybe even military support on the ground.
Yes, interesting, because Germany at the moment is kind of finding itself in a bad place, because obviously they've got all this reliance on Russia for the energy that they get from there. They're now talking apparently about reopening some nuclear plants in order to make sure that the crisis doesn't affect the country so much. And that's obviously a separate kind of portion of all of this, isn't it?
Well, yeah, Germany has been dragged kicking and screaming into this dispute, and you know, I don't want to shower them with too much praise, because this time last week, their contribution to Ukraine's war effort was to send them 500 helmets, and earlier to have banned Western countries from flying over German airspace to get to Ukraine to help them. So they've been absolutely woeful so far. But this week, they do seem to have realised that they better decide what side they're on. And they're on Ukraine's side. They're on our side. And can we please stop praising Angela Merkel as the greatest politician of all time? She's the one that gave Germany this crazy energy policy where it's totally addicted to Russian gas, and without it, it faces an energy crisis. It's ridiculous. I don't think she was any good at all.
No, I think that's right. Absolutely true. And of course, if Ukraine was to join the European Union, as they've now applied to do, you can't really see Putin putting up with that, can you?
The thing is that they won't get into the EU, because to get into the EU takes an average of about 7 decades. Zelensky seems to think that he's been fast-tracked. Well, he hasn't. He'll have to wait in the queue for, like everyone else, and it'll take, literally decades for Ukraine to get in. So I wouldn't put too much store by that, but it is another thorn in the side of Putin. You know, he doesn't like the idea that Europe is opening its arms to Ukraine. He doesn't like the idea that Ukraine still could possibly join NATO. And so on the hostility goes. And the more we wind him up with this sort of thing, the more violent he's going to get. So it's a really difficult conundrum, because yes, you want to tell the bully to do one. Yes, you want to tell the bully, you carry on like this and we're going to kick your backside. Yes, you want to act like that. But the more we act like that, even with these stringent financial sanctions, the more he is going to respond with extreme violence and extreme murderous tactics when it comes to the poor people of Ukraine.
Yeah, absolutely right. Kev, thanks very much.
Good talk. Hot talk.
Bold talk. Talk radio.
Listen on your smart speaker.
Watch it live on your smart TV.
The world headquarters of common sense.
Talk Radio.